Bear with me just a moment, folks. I've been dealing with some technical difficulties, but I assure you the stream will continue as planned in just a few minutes.
I'm cool.
Hello.
Passing good. Just voice a little bit low, but we can hear you.
All right. Sorry for all of that. There were some technical difficulties. Had to end up restarting my machine completely, but the stream is now going strong.
Excellent.
At
Hopefully
least it
there's
wasn't a virus.
yeah, let's not do that. So, hello everybody. My name
What
is
about
Living Dead.
viruses?
Oh hush. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Living Dead Cats Art and Mental Health Chat. I will be working on some more of these dragon eggs, and this time I'm going to assemble one. Yay! But today's topic is going to be one that is, I don't want to say near and dear to my heart, but it is something that I am quite prone to. That is separation anxiety. So, when it comes to separation anxiety, that's it's not just a random form of anxiety. There's a lot of connection with the attachment theory that we spoke of on a previous episode. So thank you, Pete. So let's see. The definition is listed as a condition in which a child becomes extremely anxious when separated from parents, or even at imagined separation from parents. However, that also can grow into adulthood. It's not just for children and infants. It is a normal stage in infant development. However, it can get even farther into things with an adult. Adults with separation anxiety have extreme fear that bad things will happen to important people in their lives, such as family members or loved ones. And unfortunately, researchers don't know what causes this disorder, but it is often seen alongside other anxiety-related conditions, such as panic disorder. And if anybody is tuned in, let me know if the music is too loud or if I need to turn myself up again. Let me go ahead and turn myself up a smidge in the chat. There we go. Let's see, where was I? It is alongside other anxiety related conditions such as panic disorder, agoraphobia, and generalized anxiety disorder. While it is a regular part of development for children from 6 months to 3 years, when symptoms continue late into childhood, they may be diagnosed as having child separation anxiety disorder. If it continues into adulthood, it'll be diagnosed as adult separation anxiety disorder. The symptoms are
Kitty,
similar. Yes?
I'm sorry. I do believe you need to turn it up just a little bit in the stream.
Okay, let's see. How's that? That's about as far as I can get. I can turn the music down a little more.
I think that's good.
All right. So, for children and adults, the symptoms are very similar. It's associated with extreme fear or anxiety. It can make them less willing to participate in events or social experiences. It's, let's see, instead of school, work function or other responsibilities can become impaired. Other common symptoms include unfounded fears that loved ones or yourself will be abducted or fatally injured, extreme and persistent hesitancy or refusal to leave the proximity of loved ones, difficulty sleeping away from a loved one for fear that something will happen to them, depression or anxiety attacks related to any of the topics. You may also have physical aches and pains, headaches, diarrhea, associated with those periods of anxiety. So this can be caused from a lot of different things. It can also be diagnosed alongside a lot of things, not just generalized anxiety disorder and such. PTSD has a hand in this. Same with other personality disorders. So while we go into that, let me go ahead and pull up the regular stream. That was a nice little intro, and apologies, but this is still going through the setup phase because I had to restart my computer right at the end. So if anybody else would like to talk or share about their own experiences, or if you just give me a moment to get set up here, I can start.
Thinking myself, separation anxiety. That's not one of the usual things I had experienced. I mean, almost every topic I've actually been able to participate in, thank you, Night Shifts, for not allowing me sometimes, is that I found myself at least a little, if not a lot, into most of the regular topics. But separation anxiety is not really one of the big ones for me. Things come, things go, and I do not want things to go a lot of times. And yes, I'm willing to fight injustice for the people I love, sure. Because if anyone's going to go and I love them, then if it's somebody else saying otherwise, that other person won't be thinking twice. But beyond that, separation anxiety. Life has a lot of seasons. And those seasons can be anywhere from a few seconds to several years, to a lifetime almost in some few cases. But within those seasons, there's a time for everything. Time to be with someone else, someone I love, time to work, time to relax as an introvert and recharge my social batteries. I do not know if this is helping in any shape or form.
Of course it is.
This is just my own experience on how I am with people I love, people, things I'm doing. And when I am separated, the only thing I can say is I did recently experience a burnout from still keeping up with lessons after COVID, wondering what the heck did we even learn during that? It seems we got far worse in many ways. And I did get through not being able to do that alone, and a lot of loved ones helped me get through that. The host of this particular stream was particularly high on the list of those who helped me through it.
I'm glad I was able to help.
But not being separated from you was absolutely necessary during such a terrible, depressive episode in my life. Don't know if that goes along hand in hand with what we're talking with, but that's my 2 cents for the night.
It does, definitely. And I appreciate you sharing. I absolutely do. And I don't want to detract from what you said, but as I had to do a quick intro, I had forgotten to list the fact that I am still streaming on behalf of Dragon Panther Studios for a charitable cause of Setsuna from Dragon Panther Studios suffered a fire and is working on getting legal restitution against the landlord that neglected the electrical wiring which caused the fire. and the smoke alarms and such, I believe, also needed replacement or something similar to that. So it is going to be in their favor, but they still need a little assistance with legal fees. So their Cash App is $KITTNTIGER. And of course, my shout out, Spanner in the Works, The Tower of Issa, K Appleby, Kitsue, and Dragon Panther Studios. Okay, now that the shameless plug is in, yes, I am thankful that I was able to be there for you and help you through those moments, and am very proud of what you have achieved by going through and pushing through that burnout and all of that.
Yes. And again, that's pretty much my whole 2 cents for the night.
Okay, I can go ahead and share my side. As everybody who has attended the attachment theory episode, we kind of realized, or I realized that I had quite a bit of an issue with the detachment phase of a partner. Not like them breaking off a relationship or anything, but just the physical leaving aspect really tore me up inside and caused a lot of issues. And luckily, it was more of a breakthrough moment, while it was also a bit of a breakdown moment because it was such a slap in the face. But to be honest, I have learned quite a bit since that episode, and I am thankful for learning through that episode as well. So the issue that I had was that I was immediately thinking that I'm going to be abandoned by this person. My logical brain said, "No, you're not. That's ridiculous. That's not going to happen." But unfortunately, those that suffer anxiety and depression typically have an illogical side that thinks the absolute worst. It's the part of the brain that bullies us, not a specific physical part, but the chemical imbalance that makes us have intrusive thoughts, racing thoughts, and things like that, that make us automatically think the worst is coming. And for me, that would be that, a relationship is going to break off because I'm too much of a worry, or this or that or the other, and it just compounds and grows and grows and grows, and I end up having a heavy depressive episode right after leaving, or after them leaving, and it started causing an issue. And once I researched a little more into it after that episode, I realized the connection, and I realized that there was more to my past that had led to it, and was able to, in essence, forgive myself for the way that I was, because it wasn't my fault. It wasn't something that I should blame myself for anymore. And because of that, I was able to kind of block it out a little, but I still need that reassurance from my partner that I will see them again every time that we leave. It's kind of become well, I think of it as a nice little ritual, just because it's extra hugs, couple extra minutes, and them reassuring me that they will see me again soon. And it sounds silly to some people, but if you have ever dealt with separation anxiety or detachment issues, you'd be surprised how much sense that makes.
Do you mind if I gave you and the rest of the group a little bit of an earworm?
Go ahead.
My father, bless him, is pretty much a philosopher. He's studied pretty much every religious text in the world. He studied pretty much every logic from Socrates on up to Mendel and like Schrodinger, and he's been doing that his whole life. So he has this theory he's developed. You talked about how depression and logic don't go hand in hand ever.
Mm-hmm.
His thought is any kind of strong emotion, positive, negative, or any other, subtracts from any kind of logical thought process. Only the calm can think well for themselves. Any
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on that?
I completely agree.
That's part of the reason why I consider myself, why I am less emotional and a lot more logical about things, as what was an active choice and is now a more reflexive choice. So I completely agree.
Okay.
I definitely agree as well. When it comes to trying to calm down, there are some, some different tactics you can use, but the premise of don't make decisions under emotional duress is paramount to success in a lot of things. But additionally, the whole aspect of, sleeping on it or taking a moment to calm down before you make any decisions in life, that is also kind of hand in hand with what that is. And I firmly believe that. And that if you can find a way to get to that calm place so that you can make those logical thoughts, the only problem is sometimes that's not as easy. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but there are coping mechanisms that can help those of us with severe anxiety. And, we've shared many of those before, like just to try to find like that one happy thought the last week or the last day or something like that. Because there's always going to be moments of happy in between what feels like an eternity of, struggle with mental health. So try to make those tiny moments, overinflated. I mean, we have enough trouble with overthinking. Let's overthink the happy thoughts. but but yeah, that's definitely a good way to look at things. Anybody else want to share?
Not exactly sure if this falls in the category, but um, so 3 years ago, I walked out on my ex,
Uh-huh.
and it was very, very difficult decision. And my only option was to move back in with my parents. But I made that choice, and when I moved out, it took a long time before I felt like I didn't have to be constantly looking after him.
Like looking over your shoulder?
Well, there was that part too, but
Oh.
um, I equate my ex to about a 5-year-old.
Mm.
I was constantly taking care of him in every way possible. So I then went to like not having to take care of someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was definitely, it gave me heartache because I'm a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
And he had used that basically against me for so long that I felt less because I wasn't helping him out.
Gotcha. And that can be a form of separation anxiety. I mean, thinking that something bad's going to happen to that person unless you are at their aid anytime, or that need to take care of something uh, when you move off from a relationship or on your own. Um, it sounds cliche, but that's why a lot of people end up getting pets after a breakup, or get that, proverbial rebound somewhere, um, to fill that void and that need. There's also there are some healthier ways to cope with that instead of going to try to take care of them and everything. Yes, it is very, very difficult, especially when they have relied on you for so long and may or may not have made you think that they actually cannot get along without you, without your help. There are, outreach programs for kids, there's outreach programs for teens, other adults, things like that could uh, be utilized to, be more beneficial both for you and another human being that actually needs that assistance.
I
Um,
mean, that sounds like weaning yourself off of that uh, that feeling of being needed,
yes.
even if that was not even if that was not a you were whether or not you were actually needed, the feeling of being needed, you and suddenly having that missing is a shock.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely a shock on the system. And I, because it was such a drastic move all at once, um, I had a lot of different situations hitting me. Not taking care of that person, still wondering how they're doing,
Hmm.
um, even though that's definitely not a healthy way to go about it.
Right. But I mean, there's also the grieving time for doing that. It's going to be different with everybody. And part of that grief is to constantly want to reach out and want to make contact. And that in and of itself is a little bit more difficult to just give a simple answer to. And I mean, you're here, so that's definitely a good thing, because we all definitely care about you and want you to succeed in any of your, personal journeys. And, I'm here for you. And, the rest of the sanctuary. So if you need to reach out, if you need to, just vent and cope and say, hey, I'm feeling like I need to go back to this person to make sure they're okay and such, you can distract yourself with with somebody else here. And
I
as
can
Peach
guarantee there's sufficient amounts of distraction to be had.
and Peach says, we love you and we are all here for you. And that is a sentiment that is definitely filled with truth.
Absolutely.
And as always, thank you so much for sharing. I know sometimes it's hard, especially when talking about, past relationships and what you're struggling with.
Thankfully, this is one thing that I've kind of moved past. I've allowed myself to remember that, yeah, taking care of somebody is good, but you have to take care of yourself first.
Yes, that is something I have
And
often struggled with.
yeah, it is definitely difficult. Um, And then I've also been very, very careful in making new friends and new relationships
Hmm.
because I don't want to have the tendency to revert back to that
That's
because it was
understandable.
not a healthy situation, and putting myself in that situation again would just be, perpetuating the cycle.
Right. And it's good that you're recognizing that. I mean, it's it's the old adage, admitting you have a problem is the first step to healing, you know. And in a way, people pleasing could be seen as a form of addiction. Um, if it gets to a point where you're sacrificing so much of yourself for somebody else, then yes, the problem needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. Um, and it takes a lot more to get through that. And as a fellow people pleaser, I have sacrificed quite a lot of myself for some people who never deserved it. And it caused a lot of grief and anguish in the long run. And I definitely don't want to let my friends feel like they're alone in that journey.
Well, don't forget that we're all here for you too.
Yes, I know. Thank you. And I have been
Also,
leaving. I've been leaving plenty of rants and releases in the safe spaces discussion. And real
like,
quick,
and
let me go ahead and get the Discord posted.
I was just going to jump in and say that it's also like it's not that people pleasing is inherently a bad thing. It's more just it's like everything in moderation is making it. There is absolutely such a thing as too much of a good thing.
This
To
is true.
like don't feel bad for all never feel bad just because you're people pleasing. Um, but like just make sure to be careful that you're not overdoing it. But the any individual thing is you're trying to make your friends and the people you care about feel better, and that's you know a balance.
Yes, very, very true.
And
Don't feel
also
guilty for who you are.
and also recognizing when people are using you for that gift, which is sometimes difficult because um, I've said for years it's not easy to see those red flags when you have rose tinted glasses on. And I want to say thank you, everybody, so far. I've got 4 people in the chat and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, well, including myself. I have 7 people here in the Discord server. Thank you all for showing up. I appreciate it.
Genuine pleasure.
Dralix, Panther, Gray, Hydro Girl, Squishy, Chef, and Vash. All of you are very welcome tonight. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to talk about tonight in terms of their own experience with separation anxiety?
I mean, I've definitely got some experience with separation anxiety in general. I mean, I just left a bunch of amazing people, down in Texas to come back home, and I definitely felt a lot of those strong stresses of being away from my family, and I'm now feeling the reverse of that from being away from my family, away from home. So, I mean, one of the things about that though is like, yeah, it definitely goes with a lot of anxiety disorders. I know, without a doubt, that my agoraphobia is one of the reasons why it's so difficult for me to leave people, and you know, it being difficult for me to leave people is part of the reason why the agoraphobia is a real thing.
Mm. It's like a endless cycle with that one, isn't it?
Pretty much. Like I used to not really make a lot of connections to people, and that was when I was hitchhiking and never had a place to like touch down. And after actually, settling down someplace and building connections with people, it's this whole fear that I will revert back to that, or that all of it will be taken away because I didn't deserve it, or because it was a fluke that I got it in the first place.
And that's that wonderful little voice in our heads when we have anxiety or depression that tells us the worst things.
Yep.
And thank you so much for sharing. And it was wonderful to have you down here. It was so much
It was
fun.
awesome to be there.
Yes. And real quick in the chat, Princess Peach says, I'm a people pleaser, and Papa is helping me to see that I have to take time for myself as well. I stayed in an emotionally abusive relationship for 4 years because the thought about being alone was so scary and made my anxiety worse. I am so sorry you had to stay in a relationship like that. Nobody deserves to be in something like that. But yes, the fear of being alone can really keep you feeling trapped in a place that you don't want to be or know that you shouldn't be. And I want to say that I am proud of you for getting out of that kind of situation. I know how hard that can be because I was in a situation where I was in an abusive relationship. So yes, so proud that you got out of that because it takes a ridiculous amount of courage and willpower to go through with something like that.
I think there are several of us that have experienced that, and it really is.
Squishy, if that's you, it's coming in really warbled.
May I try that?
That sounds better.
Okay. I was saying that I think there are several of us here that have experienced that, and it takes tremendous strength, and then after it takes the tremendous strength to get away, it then takes even longer to face, your fears and the different issues that that relationship has caused you, and
Ow.
then trying to move past those issues and form healthy relationships.
Yes.
So,
And that's that comment of constantly looking over your shoulder that I mentioned. Because it took me, I think, 2 years to stop doing that. I was looking over my shoulder everywhere I went, constantly, like every few seconds, looking around, becoming overly aware of my surroundings to the point where it made people around me uncomfortable, even out in public. Because, um, I had this constant fear that this person would come back. That's like the reverse of separation anxiety. I guess. I don't know if that does actually fall in line because I'm not afraid of getting away from that person. I'm afraid of that person finding me again. So, there's that. And if anybody in the chat, in the little chat window in Twitch wants to share anything, feel free. It is not mandatory, and there will be no pressure to do so. This is a safe space. And I will go ahead and post the Discord link again for somebody that just came in. Thank you for joining, by the way. And this egg's actually turning out pretty cool. I just picked some different colors to work with, and I really like how it's turning out. So I'm going to go ahead and call out on Gray if you want to say anything about the sanctuary.
So
Shameless
what?
plug
I
time.
was it. So honestly, it's just a welcoming place for people who don't feel welcome anywhere else. It's for the freaks, the geeks, the kinks, the goths, the punks, the socially awkward. We're just here because nowhere else feels better.
And to be honest, you don't have to fall into that line. You can totally be a normie and join us.
I don't expect you to stay a normie for long after being here.
Yes, we tend to bring out the quirky in all of us.
Can
Don't be giving
confirm.
away my other tasks. Don't be giving away my other hashtags.
No, but we do movie nights, we do game nights. We've started meeting up at certain places.
Yeah, that Waffle
Just
House one was fun, except it turned into IHOP.
now it turned into Denny's.
Oh, Denny's. That's right, Denny's. The other
We
meetup was
went
IHOP.
bowling not too long ago. Steven has said he wants to do a pool night, and I'm honestly down with that.
Same. I haven't played pool in
Which kind of pool night?
Kitty already picked up on it.
not
Billiards,
billiards, but similar.
It's getting warm in Texas. At least people keep telling me that. I stay inside all day.
It's definitely warm and
There's every ball in the sky that tends to burn me, so
Yes,
sure,
I think
I haven't been in a while.
I think a swim meetup would be fun. Just not here because we have a very teeny tiny pool, and as soon as it's open, it's filled with about 30 children.
we got a couple pools over here that we could do.
That would
I
be a
could
lot of
even rent
fun.
one out.
Really?
Yep.
That would be awesome, and we can do like a, hot dogs and burgers.
Yep.
I mean, my place also has a pool that I think I can book. That also has a grill and such attached to it.
That would be
that would be a
cool.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we should set that up sometime. Let's do next month. Like a monthly
Yeah, we'll
meetup.
continue to set up other things, and I know when me and Mom have the new house, we're going to be throwing a party, so there's that.
Definitely.
I am definitely gonna have to make that one at least.
When is the move?
Got to sell the other house first. I'll let you know.
Okay.
So soon, TM.
Nothing is ever soon in the divorce process. Everything is hurry up and wait.
Yeah, like that. Hydra girl, it's nice to hear your voice. How have you been?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
That's awesome.
Every days gets a little bit better. I'm in the angry phase now, I guess.
Okay.
But
Well,
it's not that bad. It's not like super, super bad.
that's awesome. I'm proud of you. I know it's hard.
And this weekend it's going to be cooler, so I can actually enjoy my weekend at fair and not die of a heat stroke.
Wait,
Yes,
you're gonna be at
that's
the
usually a
fair this
bonus.
weekend?
Yes, I will.
Ooh, I'm going to the fair this weekend. On
I will be
Saturday.
there on Saturday.
At
I
Scarby or
may
TRF?
message you later. Wait, Scarby?
Say that again.
Scarborough Fair?
Yes, Scarborough Fair. I will be there. I'm there just about every weekend.
I am going to message you after this so that I can arrange to actually meet up in person then.
What you need to know, though, is the minute I get too hot, I split. Because I don't tolerate the heat very well, and it messes with me pretty bad because I did have a heat stroke a little over a
So about meeting up at about 10:30 then.
I love this group. You guys are awesome.
So yeah, I get there at least about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and I hang out in the lanes with my friends, and then we'll go in at Ken, and I usually split by 1 in the afternoon if it's creeping up into the 90s. If it stays below the 90s, I can usually make it to 3 p.m. and actually have a pretty decent day at fair.
I have never been and don't know what to and don't entirely know what to expect, other than that it should be that it's probably going to be great. So as I said, I think we can talk.
So many things to look at. Lots of shops, lots of great shows. If you like bagpipes, they have a Celtic band. If you like whips and fire, you should go see the Panther show. You should go see the Kamikaze Firefly. If you like juggling, you should see London Broil.
They're really good.
If you like really, really, just about everything's pretty, somewhat, lots of innuendo and slightly raunchy. Don Juan and Miguel is a guaranteed good time.
Yes. Don Juan is so funny.
Don Juan and Miguel. Their parade is at 1 p.m. And that's where most of the cast all gets together and will walk the strip. Usually I'm around for parade because I help with the Scottish clans, because that's the group I tend to hang with.
That's my favorite part of the fair.
There's the Falconeers.
And then if I'm not there, you'll typically find me hanging over by the Wings of Isis belly dance troupe, because one of my dance sisters also belongs to that troupe, so I go and visit with her. So there is so many things to do. You'll want to look at the schedule and kind of pick out your show, because the fairgrounds are very large, and you're not going to get to see everything in one round. It's just not going to happen.
Hi, Jasper.
You would want to kind of pick out where you want to go and kind of stick to that schedule to try to see everything and give yourself time in between to look at the shops close by. If you want to go shopping for, say, leather pieces, chainmail, bones, anything like that. My favorite thing to do when it comes to shopping is I love pottery. I absolutely love handmade pottery mugs, right? So I'm always getting a new mug when I'm out there.
So
last week I bought. Last week I bought. I haven't in 5 years.
Sorry. Words. I would say. So, how much of the craft would you say might be hypothetically dragon themed, perchance?
Oh, quite a bit.
There's lots of. You would want to go take a picture with Fireflick. That is one of the dragons that hangs out on site. Fireflicker's pretty awesome. Love Fireflicker. But I mean, there's plenty of dragon themed things out there.
Dragon fairy.
You're gonna see dragons. You're going to see crystal bones with crystals grown on them. You're gonna find, like I said, lots of chainmail. Since it's Renaissance, right? Since you've got the royal court side of it versus the Scottish clan side of it, right? If you're more in the royal courts area, you're gonna start seeing more of the dragon theme. You got the pirate side. So if you're into pirates, there's a whole thing that caters to the pirate theme. So there's, like I said, there's lots to do and lots of things to see.
Very pretty, Kitty.
Yes, finished an egg. I like it.
Now, I have a question for Bernie. If the Celtic side is your favorite part, do you have a kilt?
Was that? Oh, I thought I heard my name. Was that me?
Yeah.
Do you have a kilt, sir?
Yes, I have a kilt, but I need to lose some weight.
We all know that problem.
All right, I have finished this dragon egg, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this over, if he's still here, to Panther. Would you like to give a blurb about Dragon Panther Studios?
Yeah, so Dragon Panther Studios is the little project that we have been working on for the past 6 months or so, trying to get it off the ground. We are doing a lot of things that you basically saw happen right here on this stream. Um, Mental health awareness, reaching out as somewhat of minor patrons towards the arts. I mean, that's really a lot of what it is. We're right now just trying to get a lot of people to a place where they can focus on creative aspects of their life without having to worry about so much of the day to day crap. So anything that we can do to help out, we are here to do. If anybody would like to check out what we're all about, we do have a website that's dragonpantherstudios.com, just spelled as you would imagine it to be, and we will definitely be able to get back in touch with you. There's an email dialog box on there that sends something directly to us, and we can't ignore it. It literally shocks us every time an email comes in. So, let's get in on those torture moments, boys.
And also, Dragon Panther Studios has been working with me with these dragon eggs, and they are going to be for sale very soon.
And as soon as we have that all worked out, they will be posted up on the site. And I'm trying to figure out a sale page situation. Like, we're probably going to end up opening an Etsy store that's linked to us, but because there's also chainmail.
That seems the easy way to go.
Yep, there's also chainmail, and then the braided, let's call them bracelets and necklaces that I will be producing.
And is there going to be any resin artwork?
Yeah, absolutely. We are actually looking into what kind of new sets of molds and stuff that we might be able to try out, and of course, hopefully, along with those dragon eggs, we'll be able to help out with getting a really cool
base
situation worked out.
Because
they just roll.
Yeah, they roll for now. I've been using like electrical tape to set them on once in a while. But yeah, I mean, these dragon eggs are a lot of fun for me. They help me with my anxiety. They calm me down because it's a very repetitive task painting these individual thumbtacks. And as you can see, I have a variety of colors already pre-painted. I am constantly going through and painting new ones, and I'm working on blending colors. And pretty soon, I will be putting individual little designs on scales for some of the more intricate purchases that come in. So I'm going to be practicing on a few of those and see about working on something like that on the next stream. So if anybody else wants to share, I can go ahead and give you guys a little spot.
Well,
that was a spot.
I thought Spot was the name of a dog.
So if nobody else has anything that they would like to share, I will go ahead and close up the stream. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in on the chat and in Discord. It was greatly appreciated to hear all of your stories. And I know those viewers out there also appreciate you sharing because it helps them not feel so alone. And any of our coping mechanisms they can go ahead and try and see if that works for them. Also, just to note, I am not a licensed professional. I am a mental health advocate. I love to share my experience because it makes me, it makes me face my darker times in my life that I've survived, and it also serves as a way to raise awareness, stop the stigma, and just hopefully help somebody feel and gather the courage they need to reach out for help. So please, if you feel like you're struggling and really want some help, go ahead and pop on the Discord, message me on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, wherever you need to. And I will do my best to get in touch with you and get you some links, some websites, numbers that you can call or text if your social anxiety is pretty bad. Let's see, next stream, I'm going to, let's see, the 24th is going to be the next stream, and I have, everybody, I did my first day at work of the mental health awareness chat, and it went very well. So I think next Tuesday.
That's a real achievement right there.
Thank you. I think next Tuesday I'm going to see if I can't get PowerPoint to pull up on this computer because I don't technically have PowerPoint. And I will do just a general presentation for mental health. And then after that, we can have a free discussion on anything that, anybody has touched on with it or has felt touched by, I guess, in the most safe way. So everybody say goodnight to Jasper.
Nighty night.
And I will see you all next week on the stream. So remember to take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And you are seen. Your feelings are valid. And you're safe here. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.